Faithful wait for the dramatic finale to the 1990-91 Scottish Premier League. For the greater part of the season, Glasgow Rangers have been well ahead of the rest.
Brilliant goal!
But injuries to key players, loss of form and the exit of Graham Souness to Liverpool have resulted in a severe slump for Rangers. All this has benefited Aberdeen, whose stylish play has taken them to the top of the league.
Nodded on here by McLeish. Booth has lost the defender, great chance, and he's put it away.
So in our featured match, it's the clash of the top two in Scotland, the game which will decide the outcome of this year's championship. In our news roundup from the rest of Europe, we've got all the important goals, including the climax of Anderlecht's season in Belgium. We've the goal from an Irish international, which has decided the destination of the Spanish league title. And from Holland, we check on reigning champions Ajax and their attempts to wrestle control of the Dutch league away from PSV Eindhoven. We start with Scotland's game of the season. It's the first time for 26 years that the championship has been decided head-to-head on the last day of the season. Savouring what is always a terrific atmosphere at Ibrox is commentator Ian Darke.
And this cathedral of Scottish football packed with over 35,000 fans for the big title decider. Nerves on edge, and outside £12 tickets have been changing hands for up to £1,000 on the black market. You really couldn't script a better finish than this. Both sides level on points at the top, level on goal difference as well, but Aberdeen have scored more goals, so they simply need a draw here. Rangers must win, and look at that, back in February, Rangers were 7 points clear. Well, there's the Rangers side. It includes 6 English imports signed by ex-manager Graham Souness, who's left for Liverpool. Fullback Gary Stevens and striker Mo Johnston have been past fit, but crucially, the playmaker Trevor Stephen is still injured, and Richard Gough has hepatitis. Nigel Spackman will take over as the captain. Ali McCoist, the darling of the Ibrox fans for so long, is only on the substitutes bench. They may need his goals later on. As for Aberdeen, well, they're still without their experienced goalkeeper Theo Snelders, so what a test of nerve for his 20-year-old deputy Michael Watt. And with only a draw needed, Aberdeen have brought in Peter van der Ven to make it a 4-man midfield. His fellow Dutchman Willem van der Ark, who's been scoring plenty of goals, drops to the substitutes bench. At the back, skipper Alex McLeish will have a titanic battle with Rangers' Mark Hateley. So Aberdeen, in their all-red strip, attacking the goal to your left in a terrific atmosphere here at Ibrox Park. The fixture computer really has come up with a masterpiece in choreography here. And of course, not only the Scottish title at stake, but a place in next year's European Cup. Aberdeen, I would think, early on will be anxious to make it as comfortable as possible for their young goalkeeper, only 20, Stephen Watt. Rangers anxious to test him early on. Ball knocked into the penalty area, away by Grant. Aberdeen having their trouble getting this away, finally hoiked clear by McLeish, but only as far as Stevens. And Watt will have to come for this one, and Hateley's there with him. The goalkeeper's gone down injured. Now, has the whistle gone? That did look as though Hateley may have impeded the goalkeeper, but I think that was quite deliberate tactics from Rangers to hit that one high and make sure that the young goalkeeper was given a test early. Let's have a look at this again. Hateley goes up there with him. Well, it did look as though the centre forward did go for the ball, to be fair to him, but Watt was injured, and that is not the kind of start that Aberdeen will have wanted him to have. It's only his second touch of the ball, and he's clattered by Hateley. Aberdeen will be very anxious here to try and take the sting out of what's likely to be a Rangers barrage in the opening minutes. No place this for people of a nervous disposition. So McLeish takes the goal kick on Watt's behalf while the keeper recovers. Jim Bett is furious in that midfield, nobody giving a moment to settle, and the referee trying to get an early control of things. With so much at stake, of course, there's always the likelihood that things could boil over. Terry Hurlock will be a real hard man in the middle of that Rangers midfield. Here's young Wright, the 19-year-old. Now Mo Johnston to Mark Walters. McKimmie shadowing him. Walters takes him on for pace. This looks dangerous. And the Rangers fans absolutely furious that the free kick is not given by the referee, Mr. McGinley. Rangers trying to build a game, but Aberdeen so sharp in the tackle. They're playing 4 across the midfield in their recent impressive run of 11 wins in the last 12 matches. They've been playing 4-3-3, but the accent here is on containment first. Here's Wright. Tackle coming in from Tommy Cowan over on that far side. Wright, the youngest player on the pitch, and he's had a fine season after coming in when McKimmie was injured earlier on. This one is knocked away by Nisbet. Rangers looking for the long ball, looking to bypass the midfield, and again a nasty moment for young Watt. And I think he's taken another knock here. And I think, too, he may have handled the ball outside the box. Indeed, the free kick has been given. So this is not at all the start that the deputy goalkeeper would have wanted. And that looked like a fairly wild challenge by Mo Johnston, but the free kick is given for the goalkeeper taking it outside the box. Walters hovering over it there. And of course they've got the height of Mark Hateley in the middle. Aberdeen with just about everybody back. They certainly don't want to give away an early goal. It comes across and flashes over with Nisbet not far away from it, and nobody getting the touch that was required. Now with Mark Walters, he's 26 now. 4 years he's been up here with Rangers after his move from Aston Villa, and a few good judges think he really should be on the fringe of the England team. This is Walters with the corner for Rangers. All the early pressure from them. This one goes a long way. That's a good clearance there from McKimmie. Back in by Hurlock, though. Ferguson knocks it on. But the referee's whistle goes to give Aberdeen some much-needed breathing space. This great title decider set up last week when Rangers slipped to a terrible 3-0 defeat at the hands of Motherwell. And it's left them needing to win on the last day. And just to reiterate again, Aberdeen need only the draw. This is Jess. Did it go out of play? Referee says no. This one over, but Chris Woods is there, safe as houses, and looking to counter-attack quickly. There goes the battle we expected between McLeish and Hateley. McLeish winning that one, but Rangers have got it back again. And here's Gary Stevens. Spackman, Mo Johnston, but Rangers tending to do things all of a rush, only to be expected in this cauldron of an atmosphere here at Ibrox. Perhaps a little composure might serve them well. Here's Wright, meanwhile, for Aberdeen, who are plenty confident coming into this game. Certainly their manager, Alex Smith, fancied them to get the point they need. Been a fantastic fight back from Aberdeen. They were 7 points behind, remember, back in February. Nice attack. Here's Hans Heuhaus, the Dutchman. Ball to the far post. Connor knocking it back. And the chance for Bett. Well, he took the chance with the volley. It was one of those, to be honest with you, that is either the goal of the season or ends up 14 rows back in the stand. And in that case, it was the latter. The cross coming over from Van der Ven. Connor knocking it back. Bett decided to take his chance with the volley. And only into the crowd. There's Bett in action again with the header. Jess. Now here's Robertson, cultured young fullback. Free kick given. Incidentally, in the Scottish League, for those of you not familiar with it, there are 10 teams in the Premier Division. They play each other 4 times during the season. So So there will be 2 matches here at Ibrox between Aberdeen and Rangers, and Mo Johnston is saying that Aberdeen are trying to waste time already. That's how anxious Rangers are. Here's McLeish. Looking to hit this one long for Jess, who won it well. Robertson, the fullback, is up there in support. Good tackle by Nisbet. And Spackman hitting it long, but not very accurately, and McKinney's in there. And this breaks away. Here's Van de Ven with a great chance, and he's fluffed it. Well, that really was a superb opportunity for Aberdeen to get what would have been an absolutely priceless goal. And Van de Ven hit it straight at the keeper. Real let-off for Rangers. And Van de Ven, who's been brought back into the side today, will really regret that he couldn't make more of this. It broke very kindly for him, and he tried to chip Woods, really. Hillhouse was absolutely furious that the chance wasn't converted. Now, again, McLeish getting above Haitley. He's winning that battle so far. Frenetic action. Hard to say, really, who's more anxious, the players or the fans. And that will be a free kick. Hurlock is the culprit. And Aberdeen have another free kick. There's Jim Bett, Scotland's Player of the Year for 1990. So experienced. He's played in internationals. He's played club football in Iceland and Belgium. And he may be one of the coolest heads out there. There may not be too many of them. There's Terry Hurlock. I don't suppose he's ever been in a game quite like this one. Real Cockney up here in Glasgow now. And the clearance by Spackman this time from right centre. And Aberdeen have a corner. Well, Aberdeen have weathered the early storm and are starting to come back quite well, but now there's a problem. And it's Tommy Cowan, the left fullback of Rangers, who's taken a knock. And this is Ian Durant, who was out of the game for 2 years with a serious injury, has come back in recent months, and he is coming on. So Rangers will have to reorganise a little bit. Durant coming on for Cowan, and only 21 minutes on the clock. Corner kick to Aberdeen. Headed away by Gary Stevens. Walters is back there. All the blue shirts back. Rangers, well, if they conceded a goal, of course, they'd need 2 for the championship then. McKimmie hitting this one long. This is right, and Hillhouse! Oh, again, Aberdeen with a real chance to steal something. And Hillhouse, well, he just needed to be a couple of inches taller to get over that and knot it down. It was young Steve Wright with the cross. Perfect cross. It found Hillhouse in space, and he couldn't get over the header to direct it. Rangers have been living pretty dangerously. 2 very, very good opportunities spurned by Aberdeen. Now Gary Stevens for Rangers to another of the Anglos, Mark Walters, and he's fouled by Wright, says the referee, and Rangers have a free kick. And once again, no doubt they'll be looking for the head of Haitley. There he is. Walters gets it over. Connor heading it away, but only as far as Ferguson. Now here's Durant. Nice little ball off the outside of the foot. Almost got Johnston in, and it still might. Robert Connor brings it away. Connor's been very impressive in the Aberdeen midfield in their recent run. And that's a lovely ball from him to Hillhouse. Aberdeen have really played some lovely football in this great run of theirs, and that is not very far away again from Brian Grant. Young Grant, tipped by his manager to be a Scottish international soon, in the engine room. This is Hillhouse. He just knocks it to the side, and Grant just kind of sliced it, and it ended up going, what, a foot or 2 wide. Wasn't far away. Ferguson to Walters, shadowed by Wright, but gets the cross in anyway. Haitley's looking for it, just a bit too high for him. They haven't quite got that cross right for Haitley yet. shadowed all the time by McLeish. Meanwhile, here's Durant, took a deflection. Aberdeen haven't got it away, and Ferguson, rasping drive. And it wasn't very far away, about a foot or two over the bar. Ian Ferguson, the 24-year-old former Clyde and St Mirren man, caught this well on the half volley. Good effort. Now here's McKimmie for Aberdeen. Sun streaking down and casting shadows on this Ibrox pitch, which is still in fantastic condition so late in the season. Nisbet aimed towards Walters, not a good ball. Aberdeen say thank you very much. Connor. Durant, who's played pretty well since he's come on. Haitley, this is better football from Rangers. Using their midfield, they've tended to bypass it a little bit so far. Ferguson has it back again. Looking to create something. Hit long by Brown. Away by McKimmie. It's a bit like head tennis at the moment. Not too much by way of cultured football here, but you could hardly expect that. Here's Walters with the cross, and Haitley has scored! A priceless goal from Mark Haitley. And Glasgow Rangers are on fire here. 29-year-old Mark Haitley, the man who's had such a love-hate relationship with the Ibrox fans, has scored a goal here that may win him a place in their hearts forever. It was Walters who engineered the room for the cross, and for once Haitley got above McLeish and planted a great header past poor Michael Watt. And Rangers are one up 5 minutes from half-time. Well, that's exactly what you buy somebody like Mark Haitley for. Aerial power. And my goodness me, Rangers now can sense that maybe this Scottish Championship, after all the recent hiccups, may be theirs after all. But now Aberdeen have a free kick. I think Chris Woods may just have taken that one step too far. And Aberdeen have a free kick in a dangerous position. Looking to snap back immediately. But Rangers now, crucially, have their noses in front. McLeish has gone up to the other end, and now the battle between him and Haitley is joined in the Rangers penalty area. Knocked to the side, the effort coming in from Robertson, back in from McKimmie. Still not away. All those blue shirts back. It was Spackman who got the vital head to it. Rangers leading, though, by a goal to nil. And Van der Ven will be regretting that missed chance early on even more. Well, the Rangers fans are already celebrating as though the title has arrived at Ibrox, but of course there's a fair way to go yet. Well, misunderstanding there, really twitchy back there between Nisbet and Woods. There was a lot of time really for Nisbet just to patrol it back, but Woods rushed out of his goal, and it didn't matter because the free kick's been given anyway. Massive party going on the Ibrox terraces, certainly among the fans who are clad in the blue of Rangers anyway. They've gone very quiet at the other end of the stadium where the Aberdeen fans are massed. Here's Jess, bundled out of it in typically aggressive fashion by Terry Hurlock. Doing the same ball-winning job. Well, I suppose that's a euphemism really, isn't it? That he did with Reading and Brentford and Millwall. And the result is that Ian Jess is laid out on the turf. But Aberdeen, well, they had their chances early on, and Rangers using the aerial route and making it pay. And it looks like Jess here has taken a knock, which may mean he's unable to play any further part in this game. I would think they're unlikely to make the substitution before half-time, but that looks pretty serious. So Aberdeen down to 10 men, looking to try and get this vital equaliser before half-time. Grant out to right towards the far post, looking for McLeish, but he pushed Haitley. Free kick. McLeish capped 76 times by Scotland. Only Kenny Dalglish can beat that. Well, Jess is trying to limp back into the action, but he's moving very unhealthily indeed. Haitley wins this one in the air. Good knock on. Johnston was looking for it. And again, McLeish had to patch up. But the flag had gone up for offside anyway. Aberdeen still trying to build up with their passing game. This has served them so well in their recent run. This is Robertson, but Rangers pushing up, denying them space. Close to half-time now. McLeish again. He's got Grant there. Grant feeding it back for Van der Ven. And the tackle by Brown on Hillhouse will be punished with a free kick. Hans Hillhouse, the Dutch World Cup star, who's reported to be homesick, wants a move back to Holland, but has been performing pretty well for Aberdeen despite all that. Now they've got a free kick. Closing seconds of the half. Away by Brown. Here's McKimmie. Aberdeen forced to go backwards as the referee's whistle goes to end the first half. A first half which was climaxed by a vital goal for Rangers and for Mark Haitley from Mark Walters' cross. Aberdeen missing their chances. They must get one in the second half, otherwise it'll be Rangers' title. Aberdeen have brought on substitute Scott Booth, only 19 years of age, to replace the injured Ian Jess for the second half. Rangers in the blue strip in this title decider, leading by a 0-0. And just to underline again, the situation is both sides level on points, but Aberdeen need a draw here for the Scottish title. Rangers need a win. So if it stays like this, Rangers will take the title for the third time in a row. Half-hearted appeals for handball against McKimmie. Referee waves them away nonchalantly. But Aberdeen will have to become more and more adventurous as time goes on here, with the danger that they just might leave the back door open for Rangers to grab a second, which would surely kill it off. Here's Gary Stevens operating in that unfamiliar left-back role. They've had to reorganise with Tom Cowan having gone off and Ian Durant on halfway through the first half. Grant, good-looking ball. Booth is just offside. Scott Booth has scored one or two vital goals for Aberdeen this season. Only just turned a full professional after being on apprentice forms, but a player of some talent. And a goal from him here, well, Aberdeen and he would never forget it. Tweaked away to Bet. Bet hasn't really been able to impose too much of his undoubted talent on the proceedings so far. Good play that by Brown, under pressure from Booth to get it back to the goalkeeper Chris Woods. But certainly Booth's pace and trickery may give Aberdeen an extra card, an extra ace in their bid to find this equaliser that they of course need so badly. Nodded on by Mo Johnston and Haitley in a race for it with Robertson. And Robertson, very accomplished, wins it. I say accomplished, but he's given it straight away. Connor, though, gets him out of trouble. But he's lost it now to Ferguson. Very, very tight indeed in the midfield. Players with about 100th of a second on the ball before the tackles bite in. But Rangers, having started this game without the initiative, have grabbed it back with that goal from Mark Haitley. Now here's Van der Ven. Wright, who's been quite outstanding so far, and this is good work again from him. The pass back from Bet was just a little bit short though, and Brown completes the clearance to Walters. It looked like a push in the back from Van der Ven. Free kick's been given. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0, in the best finish they've had up in Scotland for 26 years. Reminiscent of that finish in England a couple of years back between Arsenal and Liverpool. Nisbet hitting this one long, away by McKimmie, got up really well. Then Booth, but he too was fouled, and I think here that Hurlock is going to find his way into the referee's notebook. He's been involved in one or two muscular challenges in that midfielder's Terry Hurlock, and not for the first time in his career, he's booked. Hurlock, who's 32 years of age now, about 3 years back, we're even talking about him getting an England call-up. And that was the challenge that did it, very high on Booth. Hurlock again, though, still just as combative in there, and this time he does the job for Rangers. It's young Brian Grant. He's played very, very well this season for Aberdeen. But Aberdeen, having had this terrific run, may be just denied of the championship at the death unless they can find a goal. Robertson hitting it long this time towards Heelhouse, and Brown back to the safety of Wood's arms. There's a few fingernails being bitten away on the terraces here, I can tell you. Haitley gets up well. Put it on for Johnston, but here's Connor, who beavers away, hugging that left touchline, finds Booth. Booth, that's a bad ball, though. Bad ball indeed. Here's Mo Johnston. Watt's got it, though. No, he hasn't! Haitley has! And Rangers are 2-0 up! Oh, that was a nightmare for the goalkeeper. And the other one, Chris Woods, celebrates. But that was a gift. Aberdeen there committed suicide. First, that terrible back pass from Scott Booth, the substitute, giving Mo Johnston the chance to bear down on goal. But 20-year-old Michael Watt, somehow he let that squeeze away from him, and Mark Haitley said, "Thanks a million." Here it is again. Johnston tried his luck. He didn't really get hold of it. Watt should have had that easily, to be honest with you, and Haitley put it away. Well, isn't football a cruel game? I don't think any neutral would wish that on the youngster coming in and deputising for Theo Snelders on such a big occasion to make what was obviously such a crucial error, and now Aberdeen really are chasing it. Woodstow makes a mistake at the other end, and there's a chance there for Van der Ven and Robertson, who may have got the final touch on it. But Aberdeen can't make Rangers pay. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. A mistake by Watt at one end is punished by a goal, and when Woods fumbled this cross, Rangers got away with it at the other. Maybe that Scottish Championship trophy has got their name on it. Well, Aberdeen now must make a substitution. They've got to bring on another forward, and that's just what they're doing. This is Willem van der Ark, and he'll be on very shortly. This is Van der Ven, who is preferred to Van der Ark. They preferred a midfield player to a forward. They played it safe, but they're 2 down now. They've got to go for it. And here's McKimmie. Off target. Well, it's all gone wrong for Aberdeen. Both goals to Mark Haitley, who's had a checkered career, as they like to say in the football magazines, with Coventry, Portsmouth, Milan and Monaco. As Van der Ven takes his seat on the bench, Van der Ark is now on to have his aerial threat up front. This is Walters, though, for Rangers. They lead by 2-0. And remember, Aberdeen now need 2 goals back if they are to win the Scottish Championship. Poor Michael what? That is McLeish. I wonder what he's making of it all. Aberdeen, though, must push forward. Here's Robertson doing just that to McKimmie. Now Connor. Put away this time by Brown, not very far. Robertson again. Connor looks to take on Nisbet, who got in a vital foot, but Robertson's there again. Must say I'm impressed with this left back. Good ball from him. Low towards Heelhouse on the turn. Couldn't get the power. Woods was there. Well, of course, there'll be no consolation at all for Aberdeen should they fail to get the draw they need here. But I must say, for the future, their two fullbacks, quite excellent, Wright and Robertson. Woods did well there, though. Now here's Jim Bett, looking to bring his considerable culture to the proceedings. This time he does right again. The fullback's got forward again. He's knocked it in. Away by Nisbet to Haitley. And Haitley now is brimming full of confidence. He wants to take McLeish on. He does that, keeps it in. Good turn of pace from him. Aberdeen, heads just beginning to drop a little bit at this stage. Johnston, Rangers are starting to buzz. Walters with another long cross aimed towards Haitley. Robertson is there, and well, goodness me, did he really know where that was going? The temper's just beginning to show now. The nerves on edge in that Aberdeen defence, and the sense that maybe they've blown it. Here was Robertson, and that came off his shin and might have gone anywhere. As it is, it's a Rangers corner. Rangers 2, Aberdeen 0. If it stays like this, Rangers win the title. Haitley looking for the hat-trick, long way off. Official crowd of over 35,000 here. Hardly a space in the stadium, and a great stadium it is too, Ibrox Park. But Rangers in many ways, according to people close to the club in Scotland that everyone wants to hate except the fans here at Ibrox. Well, I'll have to hate them because they're 2-0 up at the moment. This is Wright getting it away. It drops to Ferguson. Aberdeen get this one away. Here's Robertson. Come up through the youth team at Aberdeen. But Aberdeen just looking a shade dispirited and going through a bad patch here. That second goal has rocked them right back on their heels. Life has been very turbulent at Ibrox Park over recent weeks with the defection, if you like, of Graham Souness to Liverpool. Awful lot of bitterness among the fans about that. There have been signs around the ground here saying this is a Souness-free zone. And maybe those feelings against him will ease a little if Rangers win the title after all. But it's not over yet, because Aberdeen now have a free kick. What's the referee giving here? In fact, he's given it to Rangers. Some confusion there. So far, big Willem van der Ark has failed to make much impression. The tall Aberdeen forward, they need to plant some crosses onto his head. Now here's Walters. Hurlock, back to Gary Stevens, who's had an immaculate game back there. Now Mo Johnston. Hurlock with a bit of space in which to operate. Not a great ball from him, though. Wright gets it away to Booth. Good ball from the 19-year-old aimed towards Van der Ark, but Brown, who's not put a foot wrong, back in the centre of that defence. The defenders for Rangers have done a sterling job this afternoon. John Brown, 28 years of age. Chris Woods hitting this long for Haitley again, who gets away from McLeish, but doesn't find Johnson with the knock-on. Well, it does look at the moment as though Rangers are heading for the Championship and another crack at the European Cup next year. Good defending again by Gary Stevens. Hurlock muscled out of it by Grant, and here's Bett. Away by Nisbet, vital header, Grant again, and Brown has gone down there with what looks a rather mysterious injury. I don't think he was touched by anybody, but it looked as if something just locked there, and he's really in trouble, John Brown. And well, this is a great shame for Glasgow Rangers, because he'd been having a great game back in the middle of the defence. And it looks as though Rangers are having to contemplate yet another reorganisation. They've already lost one defender, Tom Cowan, and the stretcher being brought on, and this is a sad sight for John Brown. Let's have another look at see what happens here. Grant heads it down, and there's Brown, and he just goes down with nobody within 3 or 4 yards of him. And it looks like a calf he's holding there, his left calf. And Ali McCoist, great favourite with the Ibrox fans, set to make an appearance here for the final 20 minutes or so as John Brown goes off. The second Rangers defender to have to leave the fray, and fray is the right word with the atmosphere here. So Ali McCoist, 4 times the top scorer for Glasgow Rangers, comes on, and poor John Brown, we can only hope that that is nothing too serious. "19 minutes to go. Rangers leading Aberdeen by 2-0 as McLeish hits this one long. Aberdeen electing for the long ball. Van der Ark looking to knock it on for Booth. Again, Rangers get the foot in vitally. Here's Walters. And Haitley coming deep this time. And Rangers now prepared to patrol it back, eat up a few more seconds. And Chris Woods will have a look at the maker's name on the ball, contemplate life in general, and take his time before clearing it. It's Aberdeen now who must do something to try and rescue this. There's McCoist on the turn. It seemed to take a deflection. Rangers want the corner. The referee says it didn't go out of play. Here's Connor. Aberdeen just really, truthfully, haven't been able to find an awful lot of punch today. And now, on the break, here's Ali McCoist. Aberdeen desperately trying to get man back. A third goal here would certainly kill it, but McCoist got it all wrong. Ali McCoist capped 31 times for Scotland and scorer of both goals against Aberdeen here in a 2-2 draw earlier in the season. Here's Jim Bett. Aberdeen's form has deserted them at a vital time this afternoon. Here's Connor. And up goes Van der Ark. No power in the header. Looking back, those missed chances early on by Van der Ven and Heelhuis have proved absolutely vital as far as Aberdeen and these fans are concerned. Here's McCoist again. He's finding plenty of room as Aberdeen have to push men forward now. Quite possible that Aberdeen could be hit by another sucker punch. They're having to gamble. Here's Heelhuis for them. Now Connor. But the minutes are ticking away, and the minutes, every passing minute takes Rangers closer to the Scottish Championship yet again. And what a moment for Walter Smith it would be, the new manager, if he could lift this trophy. And it looks that's the way of it. But here's Bett trying to change the script a little bit. Haitley, scorer of both the goals, gets it away only as far as right. Rangers getting everybody behind the ball now, just content to defend, challenge Aberdeen to break them down. Haitley right back, heads it away yet again to Walters. The crowd already singing, dancing, but a deathly hush over the fans who've made the trip down from Pittodrie. Now here's Grant. Bett again, who belatedly is beginning to find some space. This is an interesting curling ball, headed away by, I think it was Nisbet. late squall of pressure here from Aberdeen. But 2-0 down and needing a draw for the championship. They must get one soon. Here's McCoist. And it looked like McKimmie challenged him illegally there. The free kick is given. Aberdeen, who last won the championship back in 1985. They had a lot of glory days back in the early 1980s. European Cup winners, of course, against Real Madrid back in 1983 in the Alex Ferguson era. This is hit long, but McCoist is several miles offside. Here's Robertson. The party has already started for the Ibrox fans. Ferguson. Nice cool head in that midfield today for Rangers. Walters was buzzed about pretty effectively as well. Connor through this time to Booth, but Gary Stevens patrols him out of it. Just a bit too knowing there for the teenager. Gary Stevens now playing in the centre of the defence now that Brown's gone off. He's played right back, he's played left back, now he's playing centre back. Some game. And in the background, Nigel Spackman urging his men on. Spackman, the stand-in skipper, with Richard Gough suffering from hepatitis. Well, they've had a lot of anxious moments in recent weeks, Rangers, notably last week when they fluffed their line so badly against Motherwell. But it looks like it's all coming right in the end for Glasgow Rangers. Champions 2 years ago, champions last year, and surely now champions in 1990-91. Here's Connor, last throw of the dice now for Aberdeen, surely. McLeish. Rangers with all 11 players behind the ball. Now McKimmie. And away again, this time by Mo Johnston. He was back there. Everybody except the goalkeeper for Aberdeen, Watt, in the Rangers half, as Beck curls this one in again. Now Haitley looking to hit this one long for McCoist. And he's got away from Robertson, has he? No, not quite, and he's lost it entirely now. Referee taking a glance at his watch. The Rangers fans urging him to blow the whistle, but it's not quite over yet. It's Heelhouse with a penetrative looking round, but who's there again? Gary Stevens. Atmosphere really boiling up here, and there's going to be the most tremendous roar when the whistle goes. But here's Bet with the cross. Van der Ark was in there again, but again couldn't get a clean header in. Aberdeen's manager Alex Smith came here saying that his side were playing the best football in the country, but it isn't enough to win them the championship. Glasgow Rangers win the decider. They win the championship. They take their third title in a row and their 41st Scottish championship in all. Their lead had been whittled away by Aberdeen ever since February, until the Dons came here needing just a point on the final day, but Rangers denied them, and the hero is Mark Haitley with both of the goals in 40 minutes and 55 minutes, and Rangers can start celebrating. They'll be in the European Cup again next year. Graham Souness may have gone, but it's the perfect start for Walter Smith. All the problems are forgotten. All the bitterness over the departure of Souness. The story has a happy ending. Glasgow Rangers are the champions. A sad day for Aberdeen, and a massive celebration at Ibrox. Elsewhere in Scotland, Celtic and Dundee United were scrapping for the remaining place in next season's UEFA Cup. Tommy Coyne's 80th minute penalty for Celtic beat St Johnstone at McDermott Park, and another penalty from David Moles of Dunfermline in the 89th minute meant that it's Celtic who go into Europe next season. Confirmation then that Glasgow Rangers are champions, runners-up Aberdeen just failing at the final hurdle. No relegation this season because the league is being extended to 12 clubs. Falkirk and Airdrie are the two teams coming up from the First Division. But they'll have their work cut out, as will all the teams in the Scottish Premier Division. Rangers, even after this year's knife-edge finish, have proved again that they're Scotland's #1.